The sun doesn't shout to be seen. It doesn't need permission to glow. Its gravity, it's effortless, because its essence is presence. In your natal chart, the sun is the same. It's not just the ego or identity. It is your center. The radiant pulse of who you are beneath every mask, every adaptation, every borrowed expectation. To know your sun is not just merely knowing your sign. It is to understand your source and embody it. To feel the truth of being lit from within. It is to come home to the most unshakable part of you. Welcome to the Sun Archetype. The sun. The sun governs identity, vitality, willpower, purpose, and creative expression. It is the conscious self, the part of you that knows it exists, the part that chooses. It reflects your inner throne. In ancient astrology, the sun was known as the king of the skies. It ruled not by force, but by divine right. It represented the animating principle of the soul, what we now call the life force. This isn't about ego in a shallow sense. It is about the spark of purpose that animates you, the will to rise, to contribute, to shine. The sun rules Leo, the sign of the heart, which is no coincidence. True radiance is born from integrity, the alignment between your essence and your expression. It is yang energy. It is active, but it is not aggressive. It doesn't demand attention. It commands it. Just by existing in full truth and shining fully. When you're living your sun, you're not trying to be anything. You're just being, and that is enough. It's about how you balance the energy of your sun. The sun energy in your chart is your core identity blueprint, where you're destined to shine from, not just in. The sign of your sun describes your energetic signature, how your light expresses itself, boldly, softly, playfully, seriously. The house it occupies reveals where you're meant to awaken your light. Is it through relationships, through career, through solitude, through companion? This house is your solar stage, the area of life where your becoming unfolds. And then there are the aspects, the conversations your sun has with the rest of your chart. Do they support your shine, challenge it? Do they test your confidence or fuel your fire? When your sun isn't strong in your chart, you feel alive, you feel intense. Your will flows easily, your creativity blossoms. You know who you are, and you're not afraid to be it. However, when it's dim in your chart, whether it is by fear, by shame, by trauma, or people pleasing, you might forget your light, which leaves you feeling lost, feeling unseen, feeling like a version of yourself that's been edited for survival. But here's the truth, your sun never vanishes. It just waits. It waits for you to remember. It waits for you to let it shine. To become your sun is to walk through fire. Not to be burned, but to be purified. To be recharged. To be revitalized. Your sun is your soul's path of becoming. But becoming means shedding. It means unlearning who you thought you had to be. The ego often clings, wanting to protect, to prove, to perform, to stay and to stick to what's known and familiar. But the sun doesn't perform. It expresses. It radiates. That's the difference between a mask and a mirror. One hides while the other reflects truth. When distorted, the sun becomes arrogance, burnout, or the need to feel validated. But in its true expression, the sun needs nothing. It simply is, unapologetically. To embody your sun is to embody self-trust, not as a concept, but as a frequency. It's the kind of presence that says, I don't need to convince you I am who I am, and I know who I am. Living your sun is a daily practice, not of becoming more, but of becoming true. It's not about proving your worth, it's about remembering. To live your sun is to return to your own frequency of integrity, to act in alignment, to create with an apology, and to show up in spaces as yourself, even if you're the only one doing so. You don't need to be high vibe all the time. You just need to be honest. That's real radiance. That's what nourishes this world. Because when one person stands in their truth, they give everyone else silent permission to do the same. You're not here to live a half-lit life. You're not here to shrink into someone else's mold. You're the light of 1,000 lifetimes condensed into this moment, right now. So let yourself shine, not louder, not bigger, just true and bright. That's all the sun ever asked of you. That's what your nature commands. To be you, authentic, genuine, fully, honestly, and radiantly. I love you and keep shining, baby.